The transfer window has slammed shut as it does, and despite striking and trying to engineer a move away from this podcast, Laurie has been unsuccessful and will have to spend the next 45 minutes trying to return to the fold and be accepted by building bridges. So let's see how he gets on the funny thing about football.
Oh dear me.
Don't really know what's happening, Jeff. This is ridiculous.
Hello! How are you doing, Laurie?
Hello.
You good?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Yourself?
Yes, that's just quite a long and convoluted way of saying this is the first episode since the transfer window is shut.
So I'm a Sheffield Wednesday fan. I don't have much to talk about for the transfer window.
Yes, so the transfer window, as you say, as a Sheffield Wednesday fan, not a lot went on. I did my research. You signed some kid on loan from
Harrier Mass, I believe his name is. I think that's how you pronounce the name. But there we go. We've signed, I think, a fullback from Manchester United. We did get an emergency goalkeeper in, Cardiff City's fourth choice goalkeeper. So that was the stuff that I don't know, transfer window dreams are made of.
There you go. I mean, I don't remember seeing that on Sky Sports, but
that wasn't on the deadline day. That was a couple of weeks ago.
Okay. Oh, was that Horvath?
Yes, that's the one.
He was decent in the cup match.
Yeah, you can see he's got a mistake in him. To be fair, he came with some good saves. He saved a couple of penalties, but so you know what, he deservedly got man of the match. But you can see he's got a mistake in him.
Oh, I love that. That's I love that. That's we should have cliche bingo. He's got a mistake in him. When people talk about goalkeepers, he's got a mistake in him is definitely something that it's perfectly valid.
Right.
But yes, it is. It is. Oh, look, I need to point this out. This is a new edition this week. This is a signed shirt from the last season that Bury were in the EFL. There you go.
Very nice.
So it's not just a signed shirt. It's tragically
signed by you.
Signed by the squad of the unfortunate season where we celebrated promotion to a league we never started in. So transfer deadline. As a part-time Newcastle fan, I was much more interested in it this year than usual. Normally Newcastle do nothing on transfer deadline day, and it's very, very dull. And this year was, this window was clearly very interesting. As the intro to the podcast today, was leaning towards, striking Isak has gone, much to the delight of many a Newcastle fan. I just found it really interesting that that Isak was striking. We couldn't wait to get rid of him out of the football club and replace him with Johan Wissa, who was doing exactly the same thing to try and get out of Brentford. But apparently it's okay if they're coming to you to do that sort of thing.
So
I thought it was interesting the contrast between the way that Eze and Gehi acted. And the narrative that Sky Sports are running with now is that Gehi did everything properly and didn't end up with his move, so maybe he should have done it as well. Which I do hope is not the message that footballers are going to take from what happened. Because Gehi's move only fell down because Palace thought they had a replacement, but didn't in the end. And Wissa, I don't know if you heard this, but Wissa's transfer went through with 30 seconds to go, despite the fact that he did a full-on Peter Odom Wissa and was driving up overnight. So he was there first thing in the morning because he drove overnight to be there. But yeah, that transfer went through with 30 seconds to go.
So when you say 30 seconds to go, I mean, how do you decide that? Is that when you press send on the email or whatever it is? I mean, how... it
used to be when the fax went through. I'm pretty sure it's not that anymore.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just 30 seconds. You know, the deadline was 7 p.m. It wasn't just the 7 p.m. deadline. It was the they hadn't had everything sorted by 7 p.m, so they put what they call the deal sheet in, which gives you another 2 hours to complete everything. So it was literally 30 seconds before the 9 p.m. deadline. So it would have been very, very different had Crystal Palace found a replacement for Mark Gahey and had the internet at St James's Park gone down for 35 seconds. The message wouldn't have been as clear that if you agitate for a move, you'll get one. But yeah, I don't know what it definitely used to be actual faxes that went through.
Right, I remember that.
To the Premier League and to the FA. And
It
all
seems
that kind
crazy
of stuff.
that clubs wait till the last minute, doesn't it? I mean, you think, such big businesses. Could you imagine any other business if you were like, oh, we're buying that new building? Well, yeah, we're leaving it to the very last second to sign the papers. We start work on Monday. You think people be getting sacked for that.
It is mad, isn't it? And the thing that strikes me most about this transfer window is that I don't know when it happened, but it definitely did. But the transfers now, it's like buying a house. It used to be that if you wanted a player or somebody wanted your player, they'd say, we'll offer you this much. And you go, nope. And when they got to the magic number, you went, yeah, that'll do. And you sell them. That's what you did. But in this, it was just full of teams going, oh, yeah, well, you've met, he's passed his medical, he's passed personal, personal terms have been agreed, the clubs have agreed a fee, but we're not letting him go until we get somebody in to replace him. So it ended up like a massive chain, like when in the housing market.
Right.
And I was just screaming at the TV. At some point, somebody's just got to sell a footballer to make all these things happen. Surely
take that risk and just accept you might not get the player you want, but yeah.
I know, which and the my final thing on that is I thought it was really funny. I'll not read the statement, but the statement. Did you see the statement that Newcastle put out?
I didn't know.
The official Newcastle United statement was 36 words long. It basically said, we can announce that Alexander Isak has left for a substantial British record fee. He played this many games in this much time.
Wow.
That was it. And I don't know what anybody was expecting. It was never going to be glowing and, the praise that if he'd have left in the right way, all the heaping loads of praise and, thank you for getting us the first trophy in 70 odd years and all that kind of stuff. But it basically went, thanks for the money. Now fuck off. It was like, euphemistically, that's exactly what that statement said.
Putting just the appearances in there seems like a really good snub, because obviously with the striker, you want to know their goals. But just the appearances, that feels like that's the only stat we care about now. You're nothing to us. It's
and it was almost like they were saying, yeah, he was injured for quite a lot of time. Do you know what I mean? So it's just like, it was just veiled dig after veiled dig. I thought it was brilliant. And then, so Isak left and did his video about, I've always wanted to come here, like everybody does. And then nothing. And then I heard on Talk Sport this morning that Jim White contacted Isak's agent and said, have you got a quote I can use? And he texted him back with, sometimes it's not about being excited for where you're going. It's about being excited about where you'll never be again. I was like, ooh, okay. So then Isak, I think once that got out, Isak was like, oh, I've got to bring something out. So he came out with a statement basically doing the whole, thanks to Newcastle United and all the fans and the blah, 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 blah. And I thought the funniest thing was, I'd talked sport on all day. And the news headline on that was, Alexander Isak pretends to care about the Newcastle fans in a statement on Instagram. I was like, you can't say that, even though I think that's hilarious. You can't say that as the headline, pretends to care about the Newcastle fans.
I saw Anthony Gordon sent a nice lovey-dovey message as well, didn't he?
Yes, Anthony Gordon and Sven Botman apparently have sent nice Instagrams saying, whatever's happened, you're still my boy and all that kind of stuff. And it's almost like Bruno Guimaraes has made a point of sending a couple of Instagram messages, putting a couple of Instagram posts out there that don't mention Alexander Isak. because there is rumours that a Newcastle player went nuts and had to be restrained by a compatriot of his. So I'm thinking they wouldn't have intimated what nationality he was if he was English, and I'm thinking 2 players, same national. It's definitely Bruno and Joe Linton, isn't it? I don't know who's lost the shit and who had to be calmed down by the other, but it'll be those 2. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see if when I think it's on the 31st of January when the return fixture is. So when Newcastle go to Anfield, it's going to be really interesting to see which one of Bruno or Joe Linton gets sent off for a thigh-high challenge with 2 feet before the other one. I think so. Anyway, right. Anyway, also this week, let's kind of wrap up the football results that are the only ones we care about. So firstly, we'll go to the deduction derby, which was Edinburgh City and Dumbarton. Edinburgh City beat Dumbarton 2-1 to go flying up to a points total of -5. So yeah, they're on -5 now, which is good. The Avine derby, which I coined it last week, which was Sheffield Wednesday against Swansea, was 2-0 to Swansea, sadly. And you didn't go because you're making a point, as you mentioned last week as well. Did you see the highlights, or did you manage to catch any of it, or read any reports?
I was actually out drinking all day in Birmingham, so I didn't have a very football-y Saturday. So I'm afraid, no. I mean, just reports. It sounds like I think every match we played this season, it's been like a plucky. We're like the plucky lower league side playing higher division opposition in the cup. Yeah, which isn't really sustainable, is it? It's not. The kind of thing. Okay, we've got a couple of wins in the League Cup. We've got a point away to Wrexham, but long term, it's not the sign of a good season if you're always that plucky underdog. Playing well for 70 minutes, but then ultimately getting beaten. So yeah, there we go. It's going to be a long one. It's going to be a long one.
It's going to be a long season, but so far still above Sheffield United. Which is
mind the gap.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to have to do a reviewing the gap each week here. So we'll have to keep a close eye on that. So yes, Sheffield Wednesday in the heady heights of 23rd on 1 point, ahead of 24th place Sheffield United on no points after 4 games.
I know. Just breathe that in.
I mean, even with the rivalry aside, you've got to try pretty hard to have less points than Sheffield Wednesday with everything they're going through at the moment. It's quite an achievement, to be honest.
I know. Thank you to the Sheffield United board for sacking Chris Wilder, a manager who got 80-something points last season. As a Wednesday fan, that was a great decision.
And so, talk me through. Just briefly, talk me about it. I'm hearing rumours. He says, having read stuff on the internet, that John Textor is interested in taking over. Do you know anything about this?
His name has been knocking about for a couple of months now, but no, I mean, everything's rumours at the moment, so nothing concrete has come out. I don't think he's probably the greatest owner in football history, but at the moment it's a bit like, Pol Pot would probably be an improvement of what we've got. So it's kind of, just anyone but Chansiri.
There's 3 fellas who met up in China today. Any one of them 3 will do. It's like breaking news just coming into Sky Sports News. Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un have decided to make a joint bid for Sheffield Wednesday.
I mean, they got the money. I mean, I'll
and
take that.
Sheffield Wednesday are welcome. I mean, it's not a million miles away from where Newcastle are. So, in terms of nations buying a football club, is it? So we should probably swiftly move on from there. Anyway, here's a Bury update. The Bury update is that I said we were playing Nantwich, I think it was, the Dabbers. Turned out I was reading a fixture list that hadn't been altered by the fact that they're still in the cup and we're not. So Bury didn't play. So what I decided to do was, having said that this podcast is going to cover everything from the Premier League to the Sunday League, I thought I will search out some Sunday League news because we don't have news of what Bury did this weekend because we didn't play. So I had a ferret around the internet looking at Sunday League, went on YouTube looking for Sunday League, see if I could see any results that I could announce on here. And I found that Angry Ginger's team, I forget what they're called, they played Tottington United, which is the team which is based at the end of the road I used to live in. When I was in Bury. So I had a look at that, and it turned out to be their development squad who beat Angry Ginger's team 2-0 in a pre-season friendly. But then I had another dig round. I thought I'll have a look at how Tottington United did this weekend. And it turns out their chairman is a mate of mine, which I didn't know. This is new news to me. A guy called Chris Cowell. But yeah, Tottington United, they reformed 3 years ago. And they got promoted in their second season. And then last season, they finished 9th of 13. But this season, they're having a really good season. Now, I want you to guess what their score was this weekend, Laurie. I'm going to give you 3 guesses, and then I'm going to give you an audio clue. So that's how confident I am you're not going to get it from the 3 guesses, right? I will give you a clue beforehand that the number of goals that Tottington scored back in the days of the video printer, the score would have had to be in brackets. Do you remember that when that was a thing?
I do indeed.
Yes,
I do
okay.
indeed.
So there's your clue. So I'll give you 3 guesses at what the score was.
8-3.
8-3 is incorrect.
9-2.
9-2 is also incorrect.
11-3.
11-3 is also incorrect. And do you know what? In all 3 guesses, you haven't got enough goals.
Wow.
So there you go. Right, here is, hopefully this will work, but here is the audio clue to the score that it was on Saturday for Tottington United. Do you recognise that TV theme tune?
Is that the Pornhub music?
No.
Okay. So I wouldn't know, so that's why.
Is that the only one you know? Okay, very good.
Not a clue, not a clue.
Well, you did get a clue. That was a clue. But yes, that was the theme tune to 15-1.
Wow. I didn't even know it had a theme tune.
Yes. So Tottington United this Saturday won 15-1. Which is quite remarkable. And I'm going to give out a shout out. I need to get my phone on for this because, right, I'm going to give a shout out to all the scorers. So we had Aaron Ashell with 3, Taylor Howarth with 2, James Crowley with 2, Nathan Morgan with 2, Joseph Cox with 2, Daniel Ajagba, I do apologise, Destiny Ogbedi, Dylan Halford, and Anthony or Firmus Mendy. They've got 2 Mendys and they didn't specify which one it was. So those were all the scorers in Totty United's 15-1 win over Hollywood this weekend. And they, 7 games in, they've won 6 and drawn 1, which is tremendous. So there you go. I thought I'd give them a big shout out because weirdly, my funneling down the internet took me to that. So there we go.
Hollywood's an outrageous name for a team, isn't it? I mean, you've got to be good. You've got to be good with that name. I mean, you can't get away with a 15-1 defeat if you're called Hollywood.
It's Hollinwood.
Oh,
I'm afraid.
Well, there we go. That taught me.
Laurie, that's the admin done. Catching up on what happened last weekend. What I wanted to do on this one is, hopefully you're not familiar with these nicknames because I wanted to do a guess the nickname because you're a man of words, and I mean that into not just you can speak. It's you are your online content is all based on words, so obviously some of these are quite good puns. But yes, I'm going to say the name of a footballer that you may or may not have heard of, and I want you to see if you can guess their nickname, and then I'll reveal the nickname.
I'm excited about this. My thing is, English footballers usually have really rubbish nicknames. I'd always hate it. You'd hear like this Spanish player and his name would be like, like the White Ball, or this kind of like
Yes.
poetic names. And then like, who are these English guys? Well, we've got Barnsley and Hursty and
That's
like,
very, very good point. It was like
just the Y in the end. So I'm excited to see what you've
loads
got
of my
here.
mates at school was just an abbreviation of his surname with a Y at the end. That was your nickname.
I'm expecting this quiz just to be okay. Rushy, Ian Rush, Giggsy, Ryan Giggs.
Oh shit, that's 2 of them gone. Right. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. The first one is Duncan Ferguson. I mean, he was called Big Dunk, but that's not the one I'm looking for.
I thought it was going the other way. I thought you were going to give me the nickname. I was going to get the footballer. What's Duncan Ferguson's nickname? I don't know. I mean, something to do with his criminal behaviour. I know. Is it
warm?
Is it his prisoner number?
No, it's not. Shall I reveal what it is?
Go on.
Duncan Disorderly.
Oh, yes.
Come on. It's wordplay, sir. It's your specialist subject. Duncan Disorderly, which came from, he was the first footballer to be jailed for an on-field offence. His assault of Wraith Rovers' John McStay while playing for Rangers in 1994. He also failed a breathalyzer test on the eve of his first Merseyside derby for Everton. So that's where Duncan Disorderly comes from.
Indeed.
Okay. I'm almost certain you will have heard of the next one. Okay. Fitz Hall.
Fitz Hall? No.
I'm delighted you haven't heard it because it's one of my favourites.
Go on.
One Size.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant.
They used to call Fitz Hall One Size, as in One Size Fitz Hall, which I think is absolute genius. Okay, right. Let's see if you can get this one. I'm trying to see. He used to play for City briefly. And when he was there, Kiki Masampa was given what nickname?
Go on. Drawing blanks here.
Kiki Masampa. What would you put before Masampa?
I'm struggling here. Not a man of words today.
They called him Chris. Chris Masampa.
Oh, very nice. Very good.
Hey, I don't think I'd have to walk you through it as well once I'd revealed it. But the next one is a Liverpool player that you probably remember is David Ngog, which is Ngog. So going from the previous one, David Ngog.
It's obviously something and go, stop and go.
Nope.
Wash and go. How about that? There we go.
Yes, we got there. They called him Wash.
Nice.
In honor of the 90s shampoo brand, I think it was, wasn't it? Wash and Go.
Head and Shoulders, wasn't it? Is their slogan.
Yes. So the last one is a player who he used to play for Stoke, and he was called Mark Goodfellow.
Okay. I mean, it's going to be something to do with the movie, isn't it?
No.
Okay.
No.
Go on.
They called him Freezer.
Okay.
As in Freezer Jolly Goodfellow.
Oh, I was thinking of the Goodfellow pizzas. That's what I was thinking. Okay, Freezer
Jolly Goodfellow.
I like it.
There you go. I like all of them. I do like a bit of work with what we've done there, Laurie, is we've taken wordplay and we've taken football and we've created a lovely little mix of the two.
I saw one a few weeks back, not a footballer, but on Twitter or X rather, about somebody who worked with a really short guy whose name was Tony, so they all called him Shetland.
That's brilliant, isn't it? Do you know what? We didn't ask for any interaction last week, so what I'm going to do is I want people to, if you've got any funny nicknames, whether they are football related or whether they are just your mates or something you've heard or something you Googled on the internet, I don't care. Get in touch with us. You can comment below. You can comment on Spotify and you can comment on YouTube and you think you can comment on Apple Music. Or Apple Podcasts, whatever it is. Or you can email them like it's the olden days. If you send an email to the funny thing about football at outlook.com, let us know. I have a few, actually. I'm going back to Bury this weekend, and loads of my mates in Bury have got weird nicknames. So much so that I was mates with a lot of these lads for like 15 years before I knew what their actual names were. And they're not like funny ones like that. They're just weird. Like there's a lad called Stove. No idea why he's called that. Stove's brother is called Peabody. Now the reason Peabody is called Peabody is because I had a sleepover once when he was very young. He came with a sleeping bag that zipped up over his head, and he looked like he was a pea pod.
Wow.
So for the rest of his life, the man's in his 40s now, and he's still called Peabody because of the sleeping bag that he turned up in. There's Pork, Mole, Wilson, who I assumed would be his surname, but no, he's called Andy Williams, so I don't know where that comes from.
The best one I ever got, my friend Stephen Pickard at primary school, he called me Laurie knocks all the cars off the road, which a bit of a long nickname, but
it's quite a long one, isn't it?
We're at primary school, we'll let that slide.
Yeah, it's junior level wordplay. That's quite a good one. We'll let him have that one. So yeah, if you've got any, whenever I ask for interaction on podcasts, I always feel like it's a bit local radio, but I'm having it anyway. So yeah, if you've got any great nicknames, please send them in to us. Talking of feedback, we got some feedback, and as I suspected, there were people triggered by the fact that I support more than one football club. One person just said ridiculous, and when I asked them to explain, they were never seen again. But there was a few people who were saying you can support one and like other ones, but you can't support more than one. I was like, well, I do. Well, I do. So there's that. Yeah, and I kind of get it, but I mean, I have more passion for Bury than I do for Newcastle than I do for Dumbarton. But the way I display my support for each one, in terms of caring about the results, going to as many games as I can, buying merchandise, and do you know what I mean? And it's the same across them all. So anyway, we'll not get back into that. But yes, there was a small amount of triggering from last week's there. But yes, so next up, I'll do a little bit here called The Game's Gone. Because, and I mean, we said last week that we're not going to be those middle-aged blokes who just grumble about everything about modern football, because lots of it's very, very good. But in this section, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to be two middle-aged men moaning about modern football. So in this one, Game's Gone. Things that just football's not like not like it used to be. It's just like stuff that just there's no need for in football, and we need to get rid of. So I'll go first. Mine are, I've got a few that are related to referees, right? And it's not what you would think. It's not VAR. VAR, it can be shit, has ruined, you feel like you can't celebrate a goal and all that kind of stuff. Forget all that. The issues I have with referees, my first one with referees is when referees don't shake hands like that, like a gentleman, they shake hands with the players, like, I'm trying to describe this for anyone who's listening to it, with their arm as if they're going to do an arm wrestle, like a real matey, like, handshake. I'm not having that. You're a referee. You're not their mates. Don't do that. I don't like it. That it should be a proper, firm gentleman's handshake from a referee. That's the first thing I don't like. The second thing is I'm seeing a lot more of this now. At the end of tournaments, At the end of a tournament, they used to get the referee up, give him a little medal, and he'd go, and that was it. Fair enough. I don't know if you've noticed this, but first thing is, particularly in like FIFA and UEFA competitions, the referee's got the name on the back of the shirt now.
Didn't see that.
It's not massive. It's not as big as the player's name, but it's just a little. The referees. I don't give a shit what the referee's name is, and nobody should give a shit what the referee's name is. The referee. I mean, I know it's a cliche, but you shouldn't notice the referee. The referee should do his job and just kind of like be like a just like a ghost, just making everything happen without being seen. But yeah, the name on the back of the shirts. And the worst though is at the end of a tournament, it used to be that they'd get the referee up, give him a little medal, and he'd knob off. Now they get a tribe of officials of I presume the VAR, the fourth official, both assistant referees and the referee. They all come on together, get a medal put around their neck, and then they pause on the what do you call
Platform.
it? Sorry, yeah, platform. Let's call it that platform. They pause on that thing and have their picture taken together with their arms around each other, smiling like they're an actual team. Not having that. It's just ridiculous. Don't do that. And then the last one with the refs is, two more actually. The whole ex-referees as media pundits. I'm not a fan. So you'll get you'll get Mike Dean on co-commentary chipping in, saying what he thinks about it. It's just, I don't mind an ex-pro giving me his opinion, but surely an ex-referee's opinion should be the same as the current referee's opinion. That's the point of referees. They're all supposed to they're all supposed to do the same. They're all supposed to be the same. They're all working to the same laws of the game. If a commentator or an ex-pro pundit disagrees with a referee or agrees with the referee, then it's relevant. If an ex-ref does or doesn't, I don't care. I can see with my eyes what's going on, and I can make my own decision. I don't need an ex-referee to agree or disagree with it. And you find it on Sky. They have Ref Watch on like a Monday after all the games have been on, and they get Dermot Gallagher to go on. And I've watched it a handful of times, and I don't remember him ever disagreeing with the referee's decision, even when they're ludicrous. He's just going, oh, yeah, well, what he's done there is... And they go into just this stuff that's not even in the laws of the game. He goes, oh, yeah, well, it's like the one at the weekend, the lad from the lad from Fulham, like, accidentally stood on someone's foot, and he said it was a careless challenge. So it wasn't a careless challenge. It wasn't even a challenge. He was turning around and stood on his foot backwards. Do you know what I mean?
Playing devil's advocate on that one, though, I'm going to say I think one of the reasons why Joe Hart has been so well received is because he talks about things purely from the goalkeeper's point of view. And I kind of like that, he said, right, this is what the goalkeepers think. I don't know if you saw his analysis of the Liverpool goal, the Liverpool free kick, and, because some people were criticising the Arsenal goalkeeper, and, he said, right, this is what he's thinking, pausing almost frame by frame, saying, he's got to look over here, he's got this going on. And, I think that's worked very well. So, I mean, I don't know if they just
I get that from ex-players. I like that
they haven't had good referees on, but I feel like in theory, why is the referee giving this decision? I can see why having a ref can say, well, you know what, this is probably what's going through his mind. He's had this going on. Now he's thinking about this, but I don't know. I haven't seen much of them. Maybe they just haven't had the right people on.
Do you know what they had on today as well? They had Ref Mike. So they showed that exact incident of the Fulham and Chelsea, and they had the audio from the ref, the VAR, the assistant VAR, the linesman, and somebody else all chatting to each other.
On the subject of Mike, I've now just realised I've forgotten to put mine on. So if the sound quality is much worse,
it's all good. I'll monkey around with it in post production. Everything will be fine. Nobody will notice a thing. I promise. But yeah, another one that I saw this week was that they stopped the game for about 4 or 5 minutes because the linesman's headset wasn't working. It's like, well, do you know what? If he's got anything to say, maybe give him a brightly coloured flag he can wave in the air. If he's got something, and maybe give him a series of indications he can do with that flag. That means he can tell you from a distance what decision he thinks you should be making.
You'd think so. You'd think so, wouldn't you? I want to go back to your handshake point before I forget it, because I've got memory like I said. Yeah, I'm really old school and British like that. I only do that kind of handshake, and I living in South Korea, I really hated it being introduced to new Americans, because they would all do all this kind of like 3 or 4 things, and they're all different. So I don't know, I just end up there, my limp hands just waiting, being abused while these Americans do all this kind of bit of a shoulder barge in there as well. And I'm just like, can we just have a handshake, please?
I love the image of you just really passively just handing putting your hand over to someone and saying, "Do with it what you will." I don't know what you're going to do with it. There has to be some kind of hand-to-hand interaction at this stage. So there you go. Do with it whatever you will. I do find that when I meet up with my friends, because some of my friends, like my brother, I would shake hands with normally, and then some of my mates, I would do the matey handshake. Other mates, I would do the matey handshake and then kind of go in for a half a hug whilst still holding on to the hand. And then other mates, I would go in with full-on 2-arm bear hug. So it gets very, when you forget or you don't know which one you're going to do, it can be a bit kind of like, "Ooh, after you," and like a real awkward kind of little dance before you end up just giving them a big hug.
Yeah, too complicated for me. I just need very set rules in each situation, and then I'm happy. So
last time I saw you, I made it very obvious. When I saw you coming from a distance, I stretched my arms out wide so you could expect a full-on bear hug. I was very clear in my intentions last time I saw you in the flesh. So,
I can accept that because I know exactly what's coming. So that, but if you start doing one of those American handshakes, I've not got a clue what's happening next. I don't like the uncertainty.
I'll take the feedback, and I will. I will make it very clear from a distance what my intentions are next time I see you.
Please do.
Right. So, have you got something that the game's gone?
Yeah,
an example of how the game's gone.
I've only got the one, and my one was the FA Cup semi-finals at Wembley. Okay. Now, lots of people say, and I'm going to extend this a bit in a second. Lots of people say, it devalues the final. I completely agree with that. All of a sudden, getting to Wembley, playing at Wembley back in the 80s, we're playing at Wembley was such a big thing. That in itself was an achievement, was something to kind of fondly remember. Even if you lost, it's kind of like we got to Wembley. What a great achievement. Obviously, that's now not really there. You've got the Leyland Daft Cup or whatever it's called this year. The Papa, it's not the Papa John's anymore, is it? What is it this year?
It's the one of those Talk Sport today. I'm name dropping TalkSport a lot just because I'll listen to them all day today. But they described it as the Taxi Driver Cup because it's the Vertu mate.
Okay,
it's the Vertu.
Yeah, so I mean, pretty much everyone plays at Wembley. Give yourselves 10 years, you'll probably play at Wembley at some point, right? So there is a bit of that. But for me, okay, what I also didn't like, before they went to Wembley, if you remember, every 2 cup semi-finals, they were at Villa Park and Old Trafford. Didn't matter who was playing. You could have Newcastle Middlesbrough, not that they haven't, but you could have Newcastle Middlesbrough, and they'd have to play at either Old Trafford or Villa Park, which is just a little bit silly. And I thought it was a shame because for me, that was before that happened. That was one of the cool things about the FA Cup. The fact you get these random grounds. I know when Wednesday played Brighton in '83 or '84 before my time, but they played at Highbury. And it's pretty cool. Fans going down from Sheffield and taking over half of Highbury. You never get the opportunity to do that. It's something something new, something unique. Looking at last year, at Palace Villa, having that Spurs ground and Manchester City Forest playing that at Elland Road, I just feel like it'd be a lot more interesting than just another match at Wembley.
Yeah. No, I agree. There's a lot. There's the semi-finals, but then obviously you've got the playoff finals now as well.
Yeah.
So and then you've got the I'm going to call it Leyland Daff as well, because it is what it is, and everybody knows what the Leyland Daff is. And then you've got that, and you've obviously got the FA Vars and the FA Trophy, but I don't
Right.
mind them because that's
Yeah.
their chance. Because Bury playing at level 8, clearly never going to get to Wembley in the FA Cup final or even the playoff
Right.
finals for the EFL. So I say never. Certainly not for a good while, anyway. But yes, we do have the opportunity to get there in the FA Vars, which
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed indeed. And do you know what? It's nearly 45 minutes, so why don't we go on to added time? Because that segues really nicely into what Bury are doing this weekend, because this weekend is an international break if you support Newcastle United or you support Sheffield Wednesday. Not if you support Bury. If you support Bury, it's the FA Trophy. And it's Bury against Wythenshawe Town. Our games against Wythenshawe. Wythenshawe were in the same division as us 2 seasons ago. No, yes, 2 seasons ago. And they got promoted. And we didn't 2 seasons ago. And then last season, so there's 2 teams from Wythenshawe, and there's only 2 teams get promoted from the division we were in, which was the Northwest Counties. And both of the Wythenshawe teams beat us to promotion and both got promoted. And then the division that we're now in, the Northern Premier League West, there are 4 teams get relegated from it. Wythenshawe finished 3rd bottom and Wythenshawe Town finished 4th bottom. But Wythenshawe Town didn't get relegated because Widnes went bust.
Ooh.
So it's a bit kind of like, so we've got them in the cup this weekend. A game which I will be at. Because I'm making the flight and the trip over to Bury to Gig Lane to see Bury against Wythenshawe Town. So not an international break for me, although I am a massive England fan and I've followed England at home and abroad many, many times. The question I have for you, Laurie, is I know your brother is a Scotland fan. Are you a Scotland fan, or are you an England fan, or not any national football at all?
Less. Honestly, if I feel like I'm just a horrible person, so when I'm in England, I want England to lose. But then, when I'm in Scotland, back when I used to have family still up in Scotland, I'd go there quite often, want Scotland to lose. So you know what I mean? I'm just a bad person. I feel like I'd probably support South Korea, to be honest. If I could have one team win the World Cup, probably be them.
I need to explain to to people who think, for people who think that Laurie has just selected his national team in an equally weird way that he selected his club football team. That's not true. Laurie spent a lot of time in South Korea and has a South Korean wife. So
and my children were born there too, so
yes,
what?
So there's the link.
I could support them and not feel a bit weird.
That's it, yeah. The South Korean wife and half South Korean kids. So it's a bit like me. So again, people will always slag me for supporting 3 football teams. But like I say, I've got Bury, Newcastle, Dumbarton, but I also support my local team here now that I'm in Ireland, which is Finn Harps. And if England aren't playing Ireland, I will support Ireland as well for the same reason. Because I've got an Irish wife, I live in Ireland, and my kids are half Irish. So, but yes, this weekend, no idea if Ireland are playing. They probably are. But yes, England are playing Andorra. And I think it'll be Thomas Tuchel's 4th or 5th game or something. And England have been horseshit in all his games so far. So Andorra is one of those that it's... and interesting you say there's too many games at Wembley. It's not at Wembley. It's at Villa Park. So I think it's just because it's Andorra and they know they're not going to get 90,000 people to go and hope that England score 8 goals and be massively disappointed when we only score 5. So
only
I think
one last time.
That's
1-0, wasn't it, in Andorra?
Yes. I didn't go to that one. I've been to many, many England games, home and abroad, and we'll talk about those on another episode, I'm sure. But yeah, Dumbarton are also in the cup. They're playing East Fife, who are a division above. So there you go. There's something for when you're wandering around the house aimlessly, Laurie, because Sheffield Wednesday aren't playing at 3:00 on Saturday. You just get on the internet and see how Dumbarton and East Fife are doing. And then if you walk past a telly at 5:00, you might be able to watch a bit of England versus Andorra as well.
I do usually look out for the Dumbarton results. That is where my mum's from. So there we go.
See, this is we've been through this before, haven't we? It's like your mum and my granddad. In fact, my mum, obviously,
Yeah.
her as well. Yeah. So yes, very good. So, that's us for this week. Don't get in touch with us. It's always slow starting when you start a new podcast. So the more you get in touch with us and the more you share this, the more people you get introduced to this, the better. So get in touch with us. If you've got any games gone things, if you've got any things that you think about football that are definitely not making it better, let us know. If you want us to feature your Sunday League team, we've said that we're going to cover from Premier League down to Sunday League. If you want us to feature your Sunday League team, get in touch as well. Either comment below wherever you're watching or listening to this, or send us an email to thefunnythingaboutfootball@outlook.com. You could be our first ever. Who wants to be the person to send us our first ever email? How exciting would that be in your life? There you go. There's an incentive. And I do need to shout out our first ever YouTube subscriber, which is E. Lorente.
Absolute legend.
I mean, E. Lorente. It's a very footballing name, that. So I was very pleased with that one. So thank you very much, E. Really appreciate you doing that. So next week,
I reckon it's an Eduardo.
Eduardo Lorente. Yeah, I do.
That kind of works.
E. Lorente, get in touch. Let us know what your name is.
Are you an Enzo? Are you an
Yes,
Eduardo?
Enzo Lorente. That's quite a good one because Lorente. Oh, Lorente is more of a Spanish name, isn't it? Enzo isn't Enzo more of a Italian? Maybe. I don't know. Ooh. It's probably not very good use of internet time for us to just sit here and think of Spanish names beginning with E. So we'll move on from that one.
Eric, sorry.
So yes, join us next week. Where one of the things we're going to do next week is we had a little bit of a moan this week and a little bit of a moan last week. Next week we're going to do a little section called "I'm Here for It." So little things that are new and about or that are recent in football, and we will have a positive spin on it. So I'm here for it. So yes, that is it. Thank you very much for listening. Thanks for watching. I've been Mike Sneddon. He's been Laurie Knox. You've been listening or watching to The Funny Thing About Football, and you're not watching anymore.